What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. This is not the move. This is not the move at all. But one thing that I can say, it's better than where Tory Lanez is going to spend his Christmas. Now, that wasn't a shot, ladies and gentlemen. That certainly was not a dig. That is just a reality. I want to talk to you guys about dick discipline really quickly because I think it's important. And it's a conversation that we choose not to have, but that we should have, right? Before we get into it, make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. And then also on top of that, make sure that you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Dropping the Patreon exclusive video tomorrow. It's going to be chock full of information. We also got the Patreon meetup down in Miami. New Year's Eve, it's going to be absolutely lit. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And again, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I'm trying to turn this off, turn this down, turn something, because I'm trying to have a conversation here. Now, I don't personally think Tory Lanez should be convicted. I think that he should be found not guilty. Just to bring you up to speed on my thoughts on that, I think that you have to be without a reasonable doubt, not just based off of hearsay or, you know, how somebody feels or to believe all women sentiment. I think that when you're playing with somebody's life and somebody's freedom, because this is not Call of Duty, this is not Fortnite, you don't get to respawn. When you're playing with somebody's life, right, you have to be sure beyond a reasonable doubt, because there's too many people and too many men that has lost their jobs, but then the woman has come back and said that they lied. We got the Duke lacrosse team. There's too many men that's getting out of prison today that didn't actually commit the crimes that they were accused of. And that's the problem when you just take somebody's word for something. And then she's just not a credible person. She's a liar, obviously proven to be a liar, has gone on Gayle King and said multiple different things on the testimony. And during the trial, there was too many inconsistencies, too many different people that got different stories, so on and so forth. And her story specifically changed. So when it comes to whether or not he should be in jail or he should be facing 22 years, I think it is a crime against humanity to lock people up for things that you're not sure about. And in my opinion, I don't believe that he did. All right. Because it really all came down to whether or not somebody believed one person or believed the other person. Right. But that's not what I really want to get into. I want to get into the importance of understanding as a man and specifically as a black man, there is no safety net for you. There is no believe all men. There's only a believe all women. There is no innocence until proven guilty. There's guilty until somehow, some way you can figure out how to prove your innocence later on after you already started doing your time. And this is one of the reasons why I emphasize the importance of dick discipline. Dick discipline allows for you to more than likely not even put yourself in that position in the first place. Think about it, because a lot of people for a long time has had a lot of pushback against me. They've all said, well, Anton, you don't know no better, or Anton, rich men do this, or we need to be able to exercise our options and all that other type of stuff. Cool. Understand what you're signing up for. Understand that the more you deal with people that you don't really understand what their true character and what happens when the rubber meets the road, the higher the possibility you find yourself in a situation where it's not going to be best for you. And then ask yourself, was it worth it? Because in hindsight, we can all say, well, that pussy wasn't worth it, or ain't no chick worth me going to jail for, or ain't no chick worth me losing my job for, ain't no chick worth me losing my relationship for. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you shouldn't. But time and time again, we see with the Amber Heard situation, we see with the Meg Thee Stallion situation, we see with the Me Too movement, we see Bill Cosby, so on and so forth. A woman can let you take care of her for her entire life, put her through college and all that other type of stuff. And then when she's 90, she can come back and say, well, you know what? I didn't like the way. No. You can't just come back and then we just supposed to believe you just based off of what you think, instead of actually really being able to corroborate or justify exactly what happens and why did you take advantage of it. And then more importantly, is there any consequences for you lying? Dick discipline. It is more important than ever. It is something that you have to embrace, because the possibility of something going wrong multiplies exponentially for every person that you deal with, because you don't know the character of a person. This is why I say you shouldn't even be dating. You should be aligning yourself with people that's in your network in order to find your husband or your wife. Because then you can truly see the character of a person without any of the blinders, without them trying to put on a front or an air or trying to get in your pants or trying to present to you the best version of them just so they can be able to finesse you and then have you in their phone as food or accuse you of something that you possibly didn't do just because they embarrassed or they didn't get their way. You don't know these people. You don't know the character of them. You didn't even make them sign a non-disclosure agreement. You didn't even make them sign a consent agreement. Oh, Anton, that's too much. Okay, do it your way then. Do it your way then. Find yourself in a love triangle in which a woman is mad at another woman and then she's walking into the crib because you're trying to bust down another woman even though you're not married to her, and then you find yourself on trial facing 22 years and being deported back to Canada when you had a thriving career and you was a millionaire and winning on every single level. At the forefront of all downfalls of any society, family, structure, or man as an individual is a woman. Now, this is not a woman-hating video. I absolutely love women. They work for me. They add so much value to me, but I exercise a level of discipline, and then I institute certain things in order to ensure that I don't find myself in a position to even have to defend myself in the first place against something that I didn't do. Why do we not learn from the examples of the men of yesteryear and even the people that we see happening to it today? You seen Amber Heard get up on the testimony stand, cry tears, crocodile tears, lie against Johnny Depp, and then move in a way in which we obviously know that she was lying. And then Johnny Depp, meanwhile, because we could say, oh, well, it was justified. You know, he got his justice. No, he didn't, because look at how many opportunities and how much money he lost in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Look at how people ostracized him and you know, said, you know what? We not really messing with Johnny Depp anymore. You know what happens? You lose. All the way around the board, you lose. Even if something happens to her or she goes to jail, in which she didn't go to jail, or she gets sued or on any of this other type of stuff, you in the process are losing. And I can't understand for the life of me why you can't put it together as far as making sure that you do the thing that's in your best interest, control your cock, right? Even if you're right, even if you're not wrong, even if you're justified, even if you do it the right way, all it takes is for one woman to say the wrong thing against you and you lose everything. You lose your job, you lose your opportunities, you lose your connections. People don't want to be associated with you. They're not doing business with you no more. And then meanwhile, what does she get? Everything, the possibility of being believed, supported. You got people rah-rahing behind her, and that's just the nature of the beast. You're going to have to do the thing that's in your best interest, protect yourself, and not find yourself in a situation in the first place because you can't afford to. You work your whole life. You build up this entire system. You are a great man. You are an architect, you're an engineer, you're an entertainer, you're a creator, you hire a lot of people. So many people depend on you, and it only takes the accusation, not the truth, but the accusation of one woman that can completely undo everything you worked your whole life for. And for what? Some pussy? Nah, homie. I've seen it happen to too many great ones. I've seen it happen to too many awesome people for it to let it happen to me. I learned from the people of yesteryear in order to make the right decisions. I understand history. I see people on a regular basis putting themselves in a position under duress just because they can and they have the option to, not understanding the true nature of a woman. You going down, homie. Because you think that the fact that you work great mean that you can go and bust down some hoes. Oh, you can. Just be willing to accept the consequences that go along with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Do you think it's important? And do you think that I was right after all this time, whether we was on the Lapeef Network or the panels, the Anton Daniels channel, or the Millionaire Morning Show? Do you think that it makes sense for men to start listening to Anton from AntonDaniels.com when it comes to exhibiting a level of discipline so that you can preserve your bag and do what you want to do instead of what you have to do, instead of picking up the soap with Tory Lanez on Christmas? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be in Miami next week with the bag chasers. But for now, we're sitting here looking at the snow. And this snow look way better than looking at a jail cell. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.